It's race 2 and the third of the weekend here at the Algarve International Circuit. Welcome to what's going to be a very interesting third race. Let's head down to the grid and join James Toseland on the grid walk.
Be careful with those wings, because with this wind, you could end up in assembly a bit earlier than anybody else.
But this wind is also sometimes very difficult because the some corners might go wide.
Good luck, Tom.
But we will see. Thank you very much.
Yeah, brilliant stuff. It's time to throw back to Greg. I haven't got a clue who's going to win this one, but I do know it's going to be a great battle. Back to you, Greg.
Thanks, James. Well, I agree with what Jonathan Ray said. I thought that was a lovely answer, who was down there with you and Rachel in the paddock. A bike with a number 1 on it, either the sole number 1 of Toprak Razgatlioglu or the double digits, the 11 of Nicolo Bulega. But what can Alvaro Bautista do, I wonder, this time from the front row of the grid? Is it going to be double Ducati trouble for Toprak with his BMW? Toprak, then, just to remind you of the starting positions, is on pole position through winning the Superpole race. Bulega and Bautista alongside him. Danilo Petrucci is on row 2. Locatelli, who was on the podium here on Saturday, is 5th. Sam Lowes is 6th. Heard from him on the grid, of course. Van der Mark, and then the 2 Hondas of Vierge and Lecuona, as we look down from the drone now on the bimotor of Alex Lowes. He was just a few positions away from the magical top 9 in the Superpole race earlier on. Had he got into the top 9, he would have started in that position for this race. He didn't, and so they go off qualifying times, and he had those issues in Superpole yesterday, so he's at the back of the race again. Well, we had a big milestone earlier on here today. Toprak Razgatlioglu equalled Carl Fogarty, the 4-time World Superbike champion and King of the Jungle, of course, on 59 career victories. Can he make it 60 here today? Only Jonathan Ray and Alvaro Bautista have done that in recent years. How quick are those Ducatis going to be then in these hotter conditions?
It's race 2 with Tago. It's race 2 here at the Algarve International Circuit. Take 2 for the battle between Razgatlioglu and Nico Bulega. Alvaro Bautista starts alongside the front row. Then it's Petrucci, then Locatelli alongside Lowes. Van der Mark, Vierge and Ike Lucanoa starts alongside. We're in for a very interesting race. Let's check in with our TNT team.
Alex Lowes on the bimotor, his brother, his twin brother, shooting through from 23rd place if he possibly can.
We're getting
Here we
set
go then,
race.
the last warm-up lap of the afternoon. Nice to see the flag of Northern Ireland draped by some fans by the looks of things. You just see it in the background there from the VIP hospitality suites overlooking the pit lane. What a great view they have. And of course, talking of Northern Ireland, Jonathan Ray is here today and was chatting with Rachel and James earlier on. So we hope to see him back next time out at Assen. But so many wins for Jonathan, 13 of them here at Portimao, 12 on the Kawasaki, 1 on the Honda. And this is where Jonathan started his World Superbike career at the end of 2008. The same weekend, Troy Bayliss, of course, bowed out and celebrated his 3rd and final World Championship at the end of that year. Hardly a cloud in the sky. It is windier now, though, than it was earlier on. Air temperature is 23 degrees Celsius. The track is 35 degrees Celsius. That's 10 degrees hotter than in the earlier Superpole race, but it's just a couple of degrees cooler than in race 1 here yesterday. Humidity, though, now has decreased from 40 to 31%.
Yep, and here's the grid then. Toprak Razgatlioglu on pole position alongside Bulega and Bautista. Petrucci, then it's Locatelli alongside Sam Lowes. Van der Mark, Vierge, Lucanoa, Agata, Gardner and Montella. Iannone, Bassini and Redding. Gerloff alongside Sufagulu and Rabat. Vickers, Mackenzie, O'Halloran, Zahadi and Alex Lowes still at the back, but you saw the progress that Alex made earlier on in the race. What are we going to get here today then for race number 2? The championship standings still puts Nicolo Bulega on top, but Toprak is on 2 for a row. What are we going to have In for a penny, in for a pound with this one. Let's go over and check in as they come to the grid.
D2 hard front again. This is the championship situation. James has got the answer to that question about the tyres.
I have, Greg, and it is a yes. He has got the SC2. Everybody else on the front row, Bulliger and Top Rider Gatioglu has gone for the SC1 front.
Well, that's interesting. So it's an SC1 tyre situation that they've gone to fly in. We're getting all set then for 20 laps around Portimao, the Algarve International Circuit. Third race of the weekend, officially race 2. Green flag at the back. All eyes focusing on the red lights which are on now. And it's lights out, and I swear, a jump start from Top right there. He was moving before the lights went out. Let's see if that gets caught out. Down towards turn 1, Nicolo Bulliger takes the lead, up on the outside as well. Battista with Locatelli battling it out as well. Well, this is certainly going to be an interesting start if that is under review from race control. We'll see if that gets held up as they all get through cleanly. So Alex Lowe's already up into 18th position as we head down towards turn 5 once more. Into the braking zone. Bulliger from Razgalioglu, Battista, Locatelli, Van der Mark alongside Gardner, Vierge, Iannone coming in. Ike Lucanoa, Montello in top 10, and Alex Lowe's up to 17th place as well. Bassini up ahead of Petrucci, Scott Redding down into 15th as we jump over down to Craig Jones for the first time. And well, this situation will still be under review. They haven't officially called anything yet from race control, which is interesting, but I swear, a jump start, I'd like to see that once more from an off-board angle if possible, because he looked like he jumped just before the lights went out. So we'll hold that together and see if that changes. Look at the back. Zardi as well dropped into 23rd position. Jason O'Halloran moving as well around into several positions, but good start so far as we come downhill for the first time. Bulliger leads, 4/10 to Top Rat Razgalioglu, then it's Xavier Battista, Andrea Locatelli, Michael Van der Mark, Remy Gardner, Javier Verhey as well coming through. Axel Bassini's up there, but Locatelli on the back of Battista as well. So through we come. Battista's now on the back of Top Rack as well, so they're all continuing to keep through as we come into turn 3 at Lagos, up towards Luco, and then down towards turn 5's hairpin. And the field pretty much has spread out. Now this is going to be a mainly just go for it early on or back up. Which do you want to do? Which do you feel more confident with? Do you want to push early on or settle back and wait until you see something happens? That's sort of an uppy-downy racetrack. He's up most places. Gardner's up 5. Iannone's up 5. But Petruk's down 8. What's happened to Daniel Petrucci? Front row down to 8th position as well. Terrible start from him. Same for Sam Lowe's. 8th, what was he? 16th, 14th. Yeah, not bad at all. Alex Lowe's up 7. But yeah, that's our biggest winner at the start as we come once again to turn 11. And the field continues on. Bassini moves back into 10th position as they swing down towards turn 13. 19 laps to go then, and a cautious start from everybody out here. Let's check in with TNT.
Soon, hopefully, with the look of it.
Yeah, Jonathan Ray having smashed various bones in his left foot when the bike hit him. It was the first morning of testing at Phillip Island in Australia on the Monday before the race weekend, almost 6 weeks ago now. And like you say, hopefully he'll be back because his record at Assen is better than any other rider's record on a single circuit in the whole of World Superbike history. Look at that. You can hardly see Van der Mark. He was so close to the back of Andrea Locatelli. He's coming through, though, down at turn 1. Or is he coming through? That's going to get very, very tight. This is for 4th place. Then he's overcooked it.
Yeah, and that's going to allow Locatelli to come back through on the inside line. Yeah, that was pretty much a... Look, Van der Mark just carried too much speed into the braking zone. Scott Redding's back up into 14th position. Britt 14, 15 and 16 at the moment. But no British rider inside the top 10. 2 inside the points paying positions. But that is it so far. 18 laps to go here at the Algarve International Circuit. Nicolo Bulliger leads. It's a 140.256. That's our fastest lap of this race so far. It's not the race fastest lap. Top Rack got that early on in the day and pretty much maintained it as they turn once again, just easing on the throttle, easing on the power. They all know what they need to do as they drop down. Razgalioli in second position, gap 4 tenths. Bautista staying in there this time though, 7 tenths away. Let's see if we can hold on to it compared to yesterday's race 1 where didn't get that much away. Same time, but it's an hour earlier, if you will imagine, because the clocks went forward. Long lap penalty for Andrea Iannone, a jump start. 2 long lap penalties for Iannone with a jump start. So Iannone did jump it. He was, but I swear Top Rack jumped as well. So if they've caught Iannone, are they going to catch that of Top Rack? I'd like to see a replay, but Iannone jumped the start as well. Double long lap. Started 7th, so I wonder if it's just behind my eye line. I wonder if I saw Iannone jump it, not Top Rack, and yeah, because it was just a hesitation, little jump. I'd love to see a replay, not that we're going to get it. Vierge up the inside of getting ahead of Remy Gardner. Gardner drops down to 7th place as we come out. Iannone's going to have to serve this long lap penalty. He's got 2 to do. Luca Noah around the outside of Iannone now, down to the braking zone. Iannone is the inside line. He'll force him deep, but Luca Noah get the cut back. Tries to pull the throttle, hasn't worked. But long lap coming for Andrea Iannone. Now, where is the long lap on this track? Try and work that out for you. Yeah, it's down there at the exit of turn 13. So we'll get that one sorted in a second. We're coming into turn 11 and 12 now. So it's the Galp corner, so it'll be a straight run-off for him to take it. Look at Zardi, 6 seconds back to Jason O'Halloran, 7 seconds back to the race leader. Miles back on the rider tracker, Miles back on the overall racing guru. Someone's down in the back, who's crashed? Well, is it Tito Rabat? Because he's gone down right into 23rd position. Rabat has crashed. So as we were looking at Andrea Iannone doing one of his long lap penalties, Tito Rabat, the top of the hill at turn 13, has gone down. And he is out of the race, thumbs up, he's okay, but Rabat is out of the race. Let's see how he did it on the inside line. Oh, that's under braking, the front just dips. That's a weird one under acceleration.
There, and the front just pushed away completely. Even he looks surprised about it on the floor.
Oh, another one down!
Vierge, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is Chubby Vierge.
Vierge's down at turn 1. Vierge has crashed down the first corner. He's okay, but that bike is in the gravel trap. Well, this is a strange one. Javi Vierge, or Xavi Vierge, as he goes, is out of the race. And that is 2 Spanish riders out on Portuguese soil. Same continent. Oh, what a bizarre couple of actions there. Rabat's out, Vierge's out. We're riding with Top Rack Razgalioli now. He's got Bautista just behind, but we're riding with Bulliger. Bautista's actually dropped now. It's 1.634, the gap between him and Top Rack. As you can see on your monitor, interval gaps coming through. 53 and the 97 not actively competing. Well, it's Vierge and Rabat, so they're out of the race, we know that. Good message there from said race control to try and help out a little bit, I suppose, on some things. Bulliger pulling that throttle back. Still trying to have some action. 15 laps to go as we charge down into the braking zone. And yeah, they've pulled out 2 seconds now to Bautista. So once again, it's a 2-stage race between them all. 15 laps remain here. And Bulliger leading by half a second to Top Rack. Bautista, Locatelli and Van der Mark coming through. Gardner, Lucanoa, Bassini ahead of Petrucci. Montella back up into 10th place after a poor qualifying. Iannone, but now fighting his way through to 13th. Has he taken both his long lap penalties? Might have only taken one as we stood. We'll see if he takes another. It's down at turn 13. So if he does need another, we'll surely find out shortly about it. It won't be too much of a worry on our systems. Ryan Vickers has moved up a couple of places. That's what it needs to be, really, doesn't it? Just a cool, calm, consistent race action. Bring in that power, bring in that oomph of a race strategy as they turn through into 13 again. Let's check in with TNT Sports.
Bear in mind he doesn't have the data, obviously, that Danilo has. Petrucci, who did the triple at Cremona in front of his home crowd last year. But look at all of these customer Ducatis. Giannoni go 11, Redding, Bonobo, MGM, and then Sam Lowe's Mark VDS. But Sam's had a very bad start to the race, hasn't he? Lost a lot of ground on the opening couple of laps because he was right up there towards the front, and now he's 15th.
Yeah, I'm not sure he's made a mistake out of shot. We might get a replay of it at some point, but this is Alex Lowe's in the slipstream of Domi Agata now into turn 1. Domi with the rear wheel off the floor, number 77 there, the GYTR Yamaha R1, and just ahead of these guys is Jerry Montelli, who we've been talking about.
Domi Agata, when he started racing, did motocross, always ran the number 7 because he and his dad, both lifelong fans of the late, great Barry Sheen. Number 7, two-time 500cc world champion of 1976 and 1977. But then when he started racing on circuits, the number 7 was already taken. So Domi doubled up to 77, and that's how it has been ever since. Remember, he won that German Grand Prix in Moto2, just fended off the Swiss rider Tom Luthi 11 years ago in 2014. He's also twice a Supersport world champion. He's Alvaro Bautista.
Yeah, Bautista's just on his own now in third position. Right, I've just been sent a replay of the start, and taking a look at it, it was not Razgalioli who jumped the start. I take my hand off there and apologise to him. It looked like he did. What happened was, at the same time that Andrea Iannone started moving just before the lights went out, he clearly did jump the start. Toprak had a reflection on the front of his bike as he shifted the weight. So as he shifted the weight to get ready for the start, Iannone starts moving. So they're both on the same side of the track, so my eye line just getting distracted on the top of the monitor there. So sorry to Toprak, but no, it was not Toprak jumping the start. It definitely was Andrea Iannone. I'm glad I can correct myself with the ability for someone to send me a replay. But we haven't even seen a replay of the start from Dorna's TV camera angles here, so that's not the greatest. I would have liked to have seen a proper replay. Luca Noah's past Gardner, Petrucci's past Passini, so they're up to 6th and 8th places respectively as the racing continues at the front between Nicolo Bulaga and Toprak Razgaliolu, who is in 2nd position as they come out of Lagos, out to Luco, and now continuing to pull that throttle back and head downhill towards the braking zone at turn 5. Heavy on the brakes, careful not to lose the rear, and also not drop the front. We've seen that happen a couple of times this weekend as well across the classes. Next time out, Superbikes, and the WCR is back. I can't wait for that. And tonight on MotoGP, you can join alongside us in the commentary box will be Mallory Dobbs joining us as well. Here's a replay of the start. Iannone clearly jumping it, and Toprak also, you're getting that little sun glaze at the front as he head downhill to turn 1. We've got the replay from the back angle here, which doesn't exactly help. Here's the replay at the start. Yeah, Toprak was just shifting his weight ever so slightly when the race started, and a little sun glaze got to him. But again, he was trying to maintain, I presume, a better start. This is on board with... He did move before the lights. I thought so. Oh, that is the perfect reaction time from Toprak Razgaliolu. I stand corrected. He didn't jump the start. He went precisely when the lights went out. Oh, that is a superhuman start from Toprak, and that probably helped him. Do you know, we saw the onboard. The lights go out, and he pulls the throttle about 2 seconds before anybody else. Brilliant start from Toprak. That was fraction, literally fraction. I'd love to slow that one down and properly see what it was like. So it wasn't a jump start, but my eye line did catch that he moved before anybody else. Well, that's made me feel a bit better. I'm not completely foolish, live on air. But then Iannone jumped the start, that's for sure. That was further back. And Toprak times the start to absolute perfection. He jumped everybody. And he still couldn't get the traction down that BMW compared to that of Bulaga. Wow, that was brilliant stuff. wide action and wide-eyed racing that we see here. So that's me. Okay, well, at least I'm not a complete idiot. That could have been very well established early on, couldn't it? Bulliger leads. Top Rack in second. And for the third time this weekend, these two are just battling together. If this was the Super Pole race earlier on, we'll be into the last lap territory coming up. But we've got another extra 10. And you really feel the race distance around this circuit. That's what we've been hearing all weekend long. The 45's got technical problems and the rider is slowing down at turn 10. Scott Redding is going to retire from this event if he's got those kind of problems. So game over for Scott Redding on the Ducati Panigale V4R. Over the line comes Bulliger. What's the gap? 0.3 of a second to Top Rack. Gap between those two and Bautista is 4.5 seconds. They are really dragging that out as much as they can as Top Rack again closing in the back, but he's not going to go yet. We saw this in all the races so far, and out of the race into the pit lane comes Scott Redding. A technical problem of some kind means that he has to retire from the race. Dominic Agata now into 11th position as a manoeuvre as well, so well done there with getting that one sorted. It's just all about picking the right moment here, isn't it? And choosing the right opportunity to just go for it. Oh, big one there! Jason O'Halloran is out of the race. So O'Halloran has crashed, and that's coming through at the back. So, yeah, out of the race then goes Jason O'Halloran, the Australian rider. He's okay, but the bike has gone for a tumble down at turn 1. He's out. So we're down to 20 riders now. No, 19, with Scott Redding being out of the race as well. So 19 riders left as we take a look to the top. We're into turn 13 now, where the long lap loop is through 14. And the last corner at 15. Keep pushing, JBMotorsports. Really love the channel and work. Oh, thank you. That's a lovely comment. Red flag! Red flag's out! Oh, now this is critical. They've red flagged the race with 11 laps to go. Well, this must be because of the air fence needing repairs. Red flag. So this is our first stoppage of the year. They'll come back into the pit lane and we'll have a whole new race. So we're going to have yet another one. So 11 to go. We're just before half distance. So the first 9 laps will set the grid for the second part of this race. But the red flag is out. The race is stopped. All riders are coming back into the pit lane. Look, so this has caught out now Bulliger and Razgaliolu and half the field who have gone round to complete another lap. The red flag was called very, very late there. But red flag, race is stopped. It'll be a whole new one. This is the race control information. Race is red flagged due to track conditions. New schedule to be announced soon. Now, is that oil down? Oh, hang on a minute. This is wildly speculative. But I'm wondering, has Jason O'Halloran gone down on something maybe that Scott Redding has dropped on the circuit? Okay, we'll double check that. But the red flag is out. The race is stopped. The riders will come back in. Half of them are already in the pit lane. And it was, let's have a look. This is O'Halloran's crash. Turns in, front dips on entry. So Jason O'Halloran is okay. The bike rolls in. As the bike hit the air fence and bounced back. I did say it was a big one. And did it need to, was the air fence damaged? Did it need to be stopped? But, red flag. Race is stopped. And we'll go through that whole procedure again of having a new start. Jason O'Halloran is okay. He's got a bottle of water in his hand. It is due to track conditions we have at the moment, this race suspended. Right, while we have this red flag, then let's head down TNT Sports, who might have more information.
The heart rate down and the adrenaline, because if you can imagine being thrown out of a car at 150 miles an hour, which is the turning to turn 1 here at Portimao, it takes a little bit just to calm yourself down. That's a Subaru there. Just that car will be going around to inspect the track and inspect all the air fences, that they're all in place to make this as safe as possible. But Greg, are we going to have a 10-lap sprint here for the restart?
We're going to have an 11-lap sprint. It's just been confirmed now on our timing screen. We don't yet know when the pit lane will reopen. Let's just see where this car stops as well, because that bike did go across the curb, didn't it? And we had... in fact, I think I need to correct myself. We didn't have a red flag. We had a delayed start to a session, didn't we, back on Friday? And I think they might just check the curbs, maybe. Let's have a look. We'll look at the barriers on the outside. Has the curb sustained any damage? We had a bit of concrete come up, if you remember, on Friday. I was wondering whether they might need to get the angle grinder out and smoothen that out again. Let's see if the FAM officials check that. No, they're certainly not going to the curb. It's as we originally suspected. They're going over towards the outside of the gravel trap.
One thing that was worrying, you can see the tarmac goes beyond the circuit here at Portimao into the first corner, and that's to give cars mainly a bit more room to stop themselves, and bikes. But obviously then it goes onto the gravel, and maybe there's a lip just as the gravel starts, because it saw fling the bike up in the air, didn't it? And then it rolled and rolled and rolled.
They
I
are
think
checking
it is
the air fence,
isn't it?
Yeah.
So they're just basically what they do, if it's one's deflated, they pull that one out, because they're all in segments of 10 meters. They pull one out and then just put one back in, replace it that's inflated, to save some time for us.
Well, it's certainly done its job. That's exactly what the air fence is designed to do. I'm also just looking at the catch fencing down there to make sure nothing's pierced that. It certainly doesn't look as though that is the case. There is the Yamaha, actually. Look, on the left-hand side, just propped up against the barrier. And yes, as we suspected, and that's good news that it is the air fence, because there's always concern with bikes getting airborne. In fact, there were some terrifying photographs a few years ago here at Portimao when a Porsche was either testing or racing and went off down at turn 1, and would you believe this, bounced over the top of the barrier and landed in the grandstand, and thankfully nobody was in the grandstand at the time. Terrifying pictures there from the car racing world just a few years ago. This is what Toprak saying.
But in general also, when I'm in front in, also I'm also fighting on the bike, because bike not keep turning, just on me front stay and real grip.
Interesting to hear Toprak's words there. Lucy O'Donnell there, our executive producer, just in the foreground there, just getting some shots of the garages. Let's see if we can hear what Nicolo's saying. He's just finished his words to his engineer, but Toprak was saying sounds like he's full force on the front and he's on the limit of that BMW, and it's not turning. But it's always very, very difficult when you're trying to catch somebody, because you've got to catch up on the brakes. So you've got to brake later, put more force on the front brake, more force on the front of the bike, and then when you turn in, then there's too much transfer on the front, too much entry speed trying to catch somebody up, and that's why sometimes it's a little bit more difficult to get around the corners. This is through Craig Jones' corner. Wonderful left-hander here, turn 8 just before turn 9, going up the hill, and you can see just having a little bit of wheel spin through there. Toprak looks pretty in line with that, because Phil Maron said to him, how's the grip? And it doesn't look too bad. I thought Nicola Bulliger at that stage was having a few more issues off the corner as well as going in.
Two questions from my point of view. Will Scott Redding be able to rejoin this race with a sorted bike? That's one question. Alex Lowe's, of course, now from a standing start again, will be coming from 13th on the grid. That's going to be interesting. And I wonder if Bautista will elect to go back to the other front tyre now, because he dropped a long way back there. He was 5 seconds behind James when the race was interrupted at the end of lap 9. So I wonder if he'll make a change.
And will anybody have an X left?
Oh, that's a good question. Oh, of course, because we've effectively got a sprint race now, not a Superpole race because it's race 2, but a sprint length race,
I don't think they'll be allowed still, because it's officially the full race still.
Oh, they can't.
Yeah?
They can't. They can only use it in the Superpole race, can't they? So let's not get too excited about that.
We'd have seen some quick lap times if so, but there's 45. Scott Redding's bike. It is just being checked over, and it looks like he may get back on the grid again, Greg.
Well, what we'll do, we'll take this opportunity to take a quick break on TNT Sports. We continue the coverage on Discovery Plus. We'll be back on TNT for the restart. This is Redding with that problem before the race was red flagged.
Yeah, red flag is out then. Session is suspended. Let's check in then with the action from the world feed as we're under this red flag.
All the way through this weekend. At least now he's up there on that 5th row of the grid.
Yeah, it's just that little bit of luck that he needs, because his luck's been out, hasn't it? The crash in Superpole and then his fastest lap time being deleted. The latter certainly, you know, just a victim of circumstances there. The crash in race 1 and then missing out in the top 9. This is Scott Redding, and we're just seeing him pulling up at the side of the circuit, obviously rejoined quickly enough to get back to the pits, and I think he's probably the biggest winner of all when it comes to this restart, presuming that the team can get it fixed and get him back out onto track.
Yeah, he's still in the race, and for Redding, an opportunity for him to be able to still come away with something from this one.
As we just see him struggling as the race went on. There has been a pretty miserable weekend, to say the least, as far as Scott Redding is concerned. It's really weird, isn't it, to go from top 5 runner throughout the weekend, looking like you're going to be back on the podium, to then suddenly being out of the points altogether.
Yeah, it's a really strange dynamic at this stage, and that's also one of the things where teams need to understand how they need to interact with their riders at a moment like this. How do you decide whether to put them under pressure? Do you try and let them see the brighter side of things, or do you leave them to themselves? And it's always one of those things that the more experience that a crew chief has with his rider, the more they understand about how to deal with that. And now we're into those final 5 minutes before the pit lane will open, and it's from this moment on now that the teams have been informed that the race will be underway in 5 minutes. So you'll have 1 minute to get out of pit lane. So for Scott Redding, you're on that clock now for effectively 6 minutes to try and get yourself out there. You'll go to the grid, be met by one mechanic, and then go for another warm-up lap, and then take the start of an 11-lap race.
If anything, it's a bit of a reminder of how unique Phillip Island is, and also how unique Portimao is.
Yeah, exactly. It's another chance where you see that Phillip Island's such a short lap, Portimao's such a long lap, and lots of different challenges all the way around this track, whether it's for the long race, whether it's for the Superpole race, or whether it's for a delay like this as well. And I think that the biggest challenge for the riders are, we saw Andrea Locatelli on the grid getting an ice pack on the back of his neck, trying to cool himself down. We've seen the riders in Parc Fermé through the course of this weekend really hot under the collar, and now you get back to the pits, your body temperature is already sky high after half a race distance, all the adrenaline. You have to calm yourself down, cool yourself down, and then go again so quickly.
Alvaro Bautista was third at the time of the stoppage, exactly where he started. The change on the front row of the grid is that as a result of having passed Toprak Razgatlioglu, Nicolo Bulliger will now start from pole. And actually Bautista on the first couple of laps was okay and able to stick with them. It was just that as the pace hotted up and those fastest laps of the race came in, that's when Bautista began to drop back. We see Michael van der Mark at 7th in Superpole, 6th and 7th his 2 races so far, and van der Mark set to start from P5 now. So van der Mark's another rider with an opportunity at least to challenge Alvaro Bautista for the podium spots, because van der Mark, Locatelli, they were there or thereabouts with Bautista. Behind him, Iker Lecuona, 6th position, and then it's Gardner, Bassani, Petrucci due to line up on the 3rd row of the grid. Latest information we have on row 4, Montella P10, Iannone P11, Dominic Egerton P12. We're watching the team go 11 pit box though, and I wonder if that's something to do with the outstanding penalty for Andrea Iannone.
Yeah, Miguel's down there from the FIM, and he'll be talking to the team manager, Dennis Sacchetti, there. And for me, I think it looked like it was more than 5 laps for Iannone, so he should have taken that penalty. Now the question is what happens to him going forward, because is it another long lap penalty, or was he just in time? Was he saved by the bell, by the red flag, or does he have to take a ride through penalty in pit lane? So we'll wait and see what the update is on that. Liam, you've got an update from down in pit lane.
Yes, I do. Thank you very much, Steve. Yes, I was speaking to some members of Pirelli, and I spoke to the Pirelli technician for the Ruba team, and I was told that Bautista will be changing to another SC2 for the restart, but Nicolo Bulliger will remain on the same as he used before. I tried to get some information out of other members of Pirelli, however, they were a bit coy on the matter.
Yeah.
That way he is looking at the officials here. I don't think Andrea Iannone is going to get another chance here, because you can see the team are trying to kind of do some kind of deal with the donor officials, but it's not looking good, that, is it, Greg?
Well, I wonder what the problem is. They were talking formally with Mikel Ferrer, who works with the FIM, and Iannone should be 11th on the grids. Now, the rules are when the red flag comes out, you need to get back within 5 minutes of the red flag coming out to be able to take the restart. I'm looking at our timing screen. The only thing we know about Iannone is that he had a double long lap penalty for jumping the start, so he's done one of those. He hadn't done the second one. I wonder if that's got anything to do with it. Is it the fact he didn't do that second long lap penalty? I don't know. This is Iker Lecuona. He'll be the sole remaining Honda, of course, because Xavi Vierge had already crashed out of the race earlier on down into the turn 1 section. This is Reading. They're refueling. Here's Bonovo, Ducati. Camilla there just moving the stuff out of the way on the floor. Press officer for the team. And they're going to get this bike back out if they can. But look at the clock at the top of the screen. It's counting down. And once the pit lane opens, it will be open for only 1 minute. So they can't work on the bike on the grid either. It's the quick start procedure, 1 mechanic per rider. If they really aren't ready, they'll have to just wait and miss the sighting lap and start from the pit lane. But obviously, he'd rather start on the grid. If he does, he's at the very back of the grid. And Scott Redding, yes, he's going to make it.
Oh, get the kettle on, and get the biscuits ready and get comfortable, because you're not going to want to miss a lap of these 11 laps coming up. Like you say, is Bautista going to run that softer front tyre to have a chance of going with the 2 leaders, Nicolo Bulliger and Toprak Razgatlioglu, because he was dropping off like a stone, wasn't he? In 3rd place still, but the top 2 at absolutely lightning pace.
And this is a unique scenario in many ways, isn't it, James? Because it's an 11-lap race, so effectively a sprint race, but for full championship points, because it's a restarted race 2 with 25 points for the win. There's Alex Lowe's. He was at the back of the grid last time. This time he'll be 13th on the grid.
And the pit lane is closed.
He, of course, is on pole position now because he was leading when the race was stopped. Here's Iannone. Something definitely up, though, with this bike. Pit lane closing now, 2-1-0. Is everybody out? It'll be interesting to know what's going on, though, with Andrea Iannone's bike and team, because we've seen mechanics and Dennis Sacchetti, the team principal, talking to FIM and Dorna officials. We'll let you know if we hear what might be going on there. Here we go again, look.
You might be right about this, the long lap penalty. Oh, it's a bit of a debate there in pit lane, and we're still not sure what they're debating about.
Well, he jumped the start initially, and we know for that you get 2 long lap penalties. He did 1. So are they arguing it's a restarted race, we don't want to have to take the other one? Or did he go too far? Because you're supposed to take those within 6 laps, aren't you?
But the red flag
the race
came
stopped
out
on lap 9, so he should have done the other one by now.
It's a real grey area, isn't it? Because if he'd have done the 2nd long lap penalty, he would have not been in 11th. He would have been further back.
So I wonder if they're saying, James, sorry to cut across you, I wonder if the officials are saying, look, you're going to have to do a ride-through penalty now because you didn't do your 2 long laps in the first 6 laps of the race.
I mean, a ride-through penalty would be harsh. I think just give him 1 more long lap penalty to do in this race, and that will even up the penalty for the crime in the first time out. But if it was me, let's just have another go at it. 11 laps, lads. Let's get the lights out.
Yeah,
let's get going.
The first race should really be declared null and void now. We're going to restart, but the first race effectively never happened. That's what they're going to be arguing.
Media and to the teams for that matter now. So if I see anything come up in there about any potential issues for Andrea Iannone, I'll obviously let you know as quickly as possible. Hopefully we'll get some notification on the timing screen in the box or at the bottom of the TV screen.
Here's the grid.
So they line up, 1 more warm-up lap to go before the race restarts. This is the order they were in when the race was stopped at the end of the 9th lap. Bulliger, Toprak, Bautista, Locatelli, Van der Mark, Lecuona, Gardner, Bassani, Petrucci, and watch out for the likes of Alex Lowe's, who this time is 13th on the grid, just ahead of his brother. Something's going on with Andrea Iannone. We think penalty related. There's still mechanics getting off the grid. They need to get off quickly because we're almost out of time. Scott Redding restarts after a technical problem. So let's see what happens this time around.
Warm-up lap is underway.
Great action here in Portugal, isn't it? As we're just about to start our warm-up lap. There you go. The green flag is waved, which just allows the guys just to get off the line, get everything up to temperature, brakes, tyres, get everything scrubbed in. And let's get ready to race again. It is absolutely fascinating on who is going to win the final battle here, the 3rd battle this weekend. It's 2-0 to Toprak, but Bulliger is right there. And I think he had the best opportunity he's had all weekend of getting that victory. Can he get the whole shot again? Can he keep Toprak Razgatlioglu behind him this time?
Okay, out of turn 5. The track temperature as well, let's not forget, as we get later and later into the afternoon, is going up, 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 right up into the mid-40s now. The official reading 36, but that's usually taken in the shade, and the official readings, I'm sure it'll be a lot more if you look at the Pirelli reading. Garrett Gerloff on the green Kawasaki, James. It's been a very quiet weekend, hasn't it? Again, more technical problems for Garrett. And is someone just going to go absolutely hell for leather here? Are we going to get Locatelli or Vandermark or Lecuona maybe even leading the race?
All 20 of them, Greg. I can guarantee you, all 20 guys on the grid, 11-lap race, brand new tyres. This lot is in for a treat, I can tell you. The grandstand absolutely full here in Portugal. Great to see everybody here witnessing and enjoying some of the best Supersport 300 and it's a racing that we've seen. And it's down to these guys that are putting a great show on for us here in Portugal.
Well, I've sent messages while you've been talking, James, to several of the officials at Dorna, to the Go11 press officer, and to several journalists in the media centre. If I hear what's going on with Iannone, I'll let you know ASAP.
They're all in pit lane, Greg, so they'll not be answering you. They'll still be arguing with the Dorna. There's Danilo Petrucci. Right, can you start off in first gear, please, Danilo? And get off to a good start in this one. On board with Nicola Bulliga, top right just before. Is it going to be 4 out of 4 hole shots this weekend for the young Italian?
That's the question. We're about to see the answer. Race 1 then was won by Top Rack, the Super Pole by Top Rack. Then we had a cancelled part of race 2. That now is declared null and void. It's time for part 2 to race 2. Our 4th start of the weekend to get ready down to turn 1. Bulliga on pole, Top Rack in the centre. Then it's Bautista, lights on. And we're racing again. This time it's a much better start from Top Rack down towards turn 1. Locatelli is going to go into 3rd place and even have a go at Top Rack in towards the first corner. It's status quo. So Bulliga leads. And yes, look at that. Locatelli up into 2nd position. Perfect start. Top Rack down now, and here comes Vandermark battling with Bautista, keeping in with Iker Lucanoa. Petrucci up to 8th. Montella takes 10th. Iannone then at the moment, depending on what's going to happen with him, is in 9th. Let's see if he does a long lap penalty. He's up the inside as well, trying to have a go, and that is Gardner, who's dropped back a couple of places. So another great start from the Italians, but it's Andrea Locatelli who has 2nd place ahead of Top Rack with 11 laps to go. The race restarted right through a penalty, ignored 2 long lap penalty for Andrea Iannone. Now that really is harsh.
29, the yellow Ducati Patobike there on screen, and as he comes across the line, Andrea, he will see that on his dash
Alex
and on
Lowe's.
the pit board, and he will be absolutely furious.
And Alex Lowe's has crashed at turn 12. Alex Lowe's is down. The worst weekend continues to get worse for him after a poor qualifying. He is now out. So Alex Lowe's retires from the restarted race as we come out of the last corner. Continuing one more time. Nicola Bulliga leads. And that was a fast one for Alex. He's kneeling in the gravel trap. Marshall's with him to say, is he okay? I hope we're not going to... He is okay. Well, he's looked up to him. He seems visibly okay, but where that bike ends up, if there's another air fence damage, we might need to have another red flag. Keep an eye. No jump starts, says race control this time around, so we've got a good cutaway this time. Let's hope we don't have to stop the race again. Bulliga leads, and Top Rack Rascalioni, who's back into 2nd position as we were looking at the drama with Alex Lowe's. He's got past Andrea Locatelli. And into the pit lane for a ride through comes Andrea Iannone. He is shaking his head and moving his hand as well. Very much Italian words. Doesn't like what's happened. I don't think we like it too much either. The race got red flagged before he could do his 2nd long lap penalty. That's not his fault, that's the regulations. That needs to be tweaked. If anything, it doesn't count. That first race is declared null and void. And Iannone barely crawling out of the pit lane now as well. So his race effectively done. Now watch us get another red flag and him have to restart as well. Now 2/3 race distance at this point will be lap 6. So keep out of that one. as they fly in once more. Bulliger leads, and Toprak is not hanging around this time. Yes, we're on new tyres for this one. It's effectively our 4th race. One time this season we'll actually get the traditional 3 race weekends and not the 5 we had in Australia, the 4 we've had here at Portimao, with the pit stops back at Phillip Island and the red flag here. And Toprak is all over the back of Bulliger as they come out of the last corner. He is slipstreaming and a half as they ride uphill over the line with what will be 9 laps to go. Is Toprak going to go for a move down to the first corner? He's looking closer. It's very close. He's 2 tenths faster in the line. Looks to the inside line in turn 1. Toprak goes on the brakes. Bulliger doesn't know he's there. He turns in. He goes too deep. Toprak takes the lead. Bulliger down to second. Is now vulnerable to Locatelli and Michael van der Mark. And Batista's in there too. Batista has taken 3rd position. Well, Gardner's up to 6th. What a crazy couple of starts on this rerun. We had the red flag earlier. Now we're green again, and they are pushing green again. They are not stopping. Toprak leads by half a second as he forces Bulliger wide. Their battle of the weekend continues on. Batista, Locatelli, van der Mark, Lucanoa, Petrucci takes in P7. And Batista just maybe on the inside line. Yeah, official from the stewards that it was in only failing to serve it, so he has unfortunately changed a penalty. That's harsh in my opinion, but I think harsh but fair. Harsh but fair from race control. You can't always dictate how the situation is going to change as we battle on here. 9 laps to go. Toprak leading. We're riding with Bulliger, who's going to have a much better exit. He's sat the bike up, and now he's going to use that Ducati power on brand new tyres to the inside line, down on the start line, and Bulliger takes the lead. Toprak can't close that one back into turn 1. And look at Batista. Batista's in the mix as well as Toprak gets very close to Bulliger. We've got a 3-way fight going on here. Can Batista finally hold on to the back of these two? Locatelli has dropped van der Mark. Top 3 then, quickly becoming top 4. Down into the braking zone for 5. Oh, big twitch in the front there of Toprak. Has to get it through. He's on the harder front compound tyre compared to the rest of the field. So that gives Toprak a lot more braking power into the zones, and that's going to help him gain traction, gain momentum as they run up over the hill, down out of Craig Jones. Gap is a 1/10 of a second from Bulliger. Can Bulliger win, or is Toprak going to do the triple? History suggests over the last 2 races we've had here, Toprak can get the advantage. Van der Mark's dropped off this back, so Locatelli's got 4th position at the moment. On board with Batista, the 19, running in 3rd, out of turn 13, down into 14. Just listening to the engine sing of the Ducati V4R. Iannoni's now right at the back of the field, and even Zahedi as well, as it just dropped so far back over the line. Bulliger leads 3/10 of a second. Toprak's has got no speed. He's struggling on the straights, and they're under braking. The rear's stepping out. 1:39.7 last lap time for Bulliger. Toprak 140.232. So what was it? 0.5 of a second slower. Half a second in this game is annoying. That's still 2/10 though. Doesn't work out, does it? How much that differential is over the lap time. Oh, Bulliger very deep into 5. Picks it up nicely. Well, it's a strange weekend, but it does work. I suppose we should be thankful for that. And we're not having a complete and utter nightmare rider strategy here as we go over the top of the hill. Oh, Batista, a little bit twitchy. He's winning here in both MotoGP and World Superbikes. He knows the score of this place. A few of them also, like Dominic Agata, has raced here in Moto E and Moto 2 and Moto 3. Gardner's done it. Sam Lowe's has negative memories of this place, crashing out and losing out on the Moto 2 World Championship a couple of years ago. Oh, we got so close to a British World Champion, so close. The boy from Lincoln, about 50 minutes away from where I am, actually, in the commentary box. Oh, Bulliger having a little loss out the side, just trying to get that traction back, and Andrea Iannone comes to the pit lane and retires. He's out of the race. Fair's fair. They tried it, but it wasn't working. So that's Alex Lowe's and Andrea Iannone out of the race. 6 to go. Into turn 1. Trail breaks it in. And the 29 officially now retired. Yeah, we saw that one coming, sadly. Top rack again. Closing in on the front. They've dropped Bautista like a stone. Top rack, 139.614. 140.232 was his last lap. 139.614 his current lap. He's just not taking no for an answer out here, is he? Over the top. Top rack still got the traction. He's still gaining this momentum. Oh, and Petrucci and Bassini have passed Luca Noah. So Luca Noah has dropped back now into 8th position. Bautista's now 1.4 seconds back. Here we go again, folks. It will be 5 to go, and it's going to be yet another battle between Bulliger and Razgatlioglu. Bulliger got a little bit too deep through 13, yeah. Here he is into 14. Oh, and he stepped up! Bulliger steps up, and that allows Top Rack through! Bulliger's got the inside line down into turn 13. They run together side by side downhill, and Bulliger gets the lead. Top Rack can't go and find that traction, but is that going to give him the straight line speed he needs down towards turn number 1? It's not over yet. Top Rack will have the acceleration, but I don't think anything can beat. So even when Bulliger has a moment, he keeps the lead of the race. He's the only one who can take on Top Rack. We saw it in Australia in race 1. Then Top Rack had a miserable Super Pole and race 2. And then this weekend, Top Rack's been dominating, but Bulliger did the incredible. He had 3 in a row. He's had 2 podiums here with 2 seconds. He's on now to get the best point scoring he can be. It's still going to be a massive advantage over Top Rack in the championship going into the next round. Over we go again. Bulliger by 12 thousandths. Top Rack 2 tenths back in that first sector as well. BMW riding with Top Rack. That was over the top of the hill. You could hear how it was revving and jumping around. Half distance of this race. As they cut to the inside line, they're still desperately trying to find pace. Top Rack's going to have a go this time. He's going to go for it on the inside. A lap ago, Bulliger made the mistake here. Now Top Rack's going to force him into one. At the inside, Top Rack takes the lead, but a repeat of a lap before. Bulliger has an inside line as Top Rack goes wide, but Top Rack does the open under, gets the acceleration and takes the lead. Top Rack leads here at Podium. But now it's the straight line speed of the Ducati for Bulliger that'll launch him out of turn 15, up the hill and far away. Top Rack goes defensive, Bulliger slipstreams past and back into the lead with 4 to go. World Superbikes is giving us the entertainment we need, but Bulliger's gone too deep out of 1 and 2 into Lagos at 3, and Top Rack sends it up the inside. Bulliger's going to lift up, he's not going to leave any room. Top Rack's back through, and he shuts the door at 4. Top Rack takes the lead. Here comes Bulliger again. They're still side by side. He backs off into 5. Still looking at the inside line. Top Rack shuts the door. A tight apex. Under acceleration at the back. Little twitch from Bulliger on the front. Into Sampson at 7. Unbelievable. 2/3 race distance has been completed. And the World Supersport 300 race 2 pit lane opens at 3:15 local time. And UK time, I suppose. But anyway, back to the action at the front. No race red. No, this is back to green flag. The race was red flagged earlier on in the hour really. Brief red flag for an air fence to be repaired after a crash for Tant McKenzie. He's okay, but the air fence needed repairing. Yanni Montella has made the move up as well. Here comes Toprak, defending hard from Bulliger. 4 to go here in Phillip Island. How close is this going to be for Bulliger into turn 1? Under acceleration, over the line. Look at the rear tyre sliding from Bulliger, who's going to go to the inside line. Toprak knows, he opens the door slightly and Bulliger leads, and is Toprak going to have the inside line back in towards turn 1? Yes, he is. They're going to make contact here. They're side by side through 1 and 2. Toprak retakes the lead, and Bulliger tries to get through on the inside line in turn 3, but Toprak's coming him off into Lagos. Oh, but he goes a little bit too deep at the exit. That's going to allow Bulliger. Good run through Luco, and down in towards turn 5. If you can have the acceleration and the traction. Toprak going defensive. Bulliger playing it smart, lifts off, wide line through 5. That's a tighter second apex. Tant McKenzie, who did restart, has crashed again for a second time in this race. He's now down at turn 3. Let's hope he doesn't require a red flag. There is McKenzie's second crash. I don't know why, Gene, the race is showing that it's red flagged for you. The race is still going on. Maybe refresh and see if that does anything. Our timing's alive. We can assure you of that. Dominic Agat is up tonight. Toprak leads. Bulliger second. Bautista, Locatelli, Van der Mark as well. And the 95 has rejoined. Tant McKenzie's back in the race. Gardner's up tonight, passing Agata. It'll be 2 more laps, and look, these two squabbling is bringing Bautista back into the mix. With 2 to go, it's enough maybe for him to get something out of this. What a crazy weekend we're having. Wonderful though. This is proper motorcycle racing. Let's hope MotoGP can be as entertaining later on, at least between some of the Marquezes, because it's going to be a Marquez who wins. It's probably going to be Mark here. Well, this is a bit more exciting, isn't it? You're actually getting wheel-to-wheel action for your race victory. British Superbikes coming up soon as well. And the 87 has crashed. Out goes Remy Gardner. He's off at turn 1. Gardner's crashed at turn 1. 2 to go. Down to turn 5. Toprak, nice and easy on the apex. Holds it beautifully. So does Nico Bulliger. Second Aussie to crash then. And is this time going to be out for Remy Gardner? It was down at turn 1. Not actively competing, yeah. Axel Bassini up to 6th place as well. Yeah, there he is. Out of the race then, unfortunately for Remy Gardner. That's our 3rd official retirement from the second race here of Superbikes. Hold it through. It'll be another last lap now. Bulliger, is he going to be defeated? And will Toprak do a triple to mirror what happened in Australia with Nicolo Bulliger? This time, however, Toprak back in European soil, and now he starts his championship campaign, admittedly, one hand tied behind his back. But we're going to be in for a fight all season long here, which is exactly what we were praying for, exactly what we wanted after Toprak's 13 victories last year. He's got his elbow down through the last corner, which is a 7-story drop. This man has no fear. Last lap to go. Here then at Portimao, into Phillip Island then as they come down. Braking, 2/10 the gap. Bulliger super late, trying everything into the first corner. Toprak had it covered. And that's lost him now to a further 2/10. Bulliger's half a second behind. That's given Toprak a bit of breathing space, as JT, James Tosin, said. Behind my ears, because I can hear the commentary. Into the braking zone for 5. Toprak shuts that door easily. Bulliger's reining him back, but I don't know. It just seems like it's going to be a reeling day. I don't see how this will change. I don't think it will. Toprak's going to do a triple and win for the 60th time in his career. This will be his 60th win, his 3rd of the season, and what a 60th for Toprak Razgatlioglu, the 2021 and 2024 World Superbike champion, facing with Nicolo Bulaga. Give us a run to the line. It was 66 thousandths in race 1, 55 thousandths in race 2. What's it going to be now at the line? Will he be any closer? The gap 3 tenths. It's the last sector, and I think it might be the biggest of all. After misery in Australia at Phillip Island, it's Toprak back on top. 1, 2, 3 wins in a row. Toprak wins and dominates here at Portimao. Bulaga in second. He maintains a podium streak of now 6 races. Bautista in third. Locatelli, Van der Mark, the top 5. But it is 60 career wins for Toprak Razgatlioglu, and camaraderie between himself, Ducati, Bulaga, and the entire squad. A fierce weekend here, and a beautiful couple of races. Bulaga dominated with all 3 races in Australia. Toprak fights back, and the Turkish Airways sweeps and leaves here with 3. That's more like it. And the wheelie as well. What did you do for his 60th then? 60 career wins. Podium confirmed by Race Control. Toprak comes in, does another stoppie, and picks up the Turkish flag once more. And what's these? They're holding up the flags. BMW and Michael van der Mark there as well. Let's hand over to the live feed.
It was one of attrition, rather, to say the least. But Toprak Razgatlioglu, the weekend belongs to him. Nicolo Bulaga has made Toprak work a whole lot harder for that than Toprak was able to make Bulaga work on his best track in Phillip Island first time out. That's good news for Bulaga, despite those 3 defeats.
Yeah, and for Bulaga, he's still got a 29-point advantage, and we've been able to see that for him, he's made that step compared to the rest of the field as well. So 29 points is difficult to make up if Bulaga keeps finishing in those 2nd, 3rd positions. So we'll wait and see what happens next time out in Assen, but we know that that's a great circuit for Toprak as well. So Bulaga's under pressure to try and make sure you're able to go with Razgatlioglu, but he's also putting pressure on Toprak. It's a different dynamic this year.
Celebrations underway for the Turkish star Toprak Razgatlioglu after his 3 out of 3 here in Portimao. Let's get some reaction from BMW.
Yeah, just down at BMW at the moment. Sean Muir obviously congratulating the entire team. I did have him for a second, but he's ran away again, but I will have him now. Sean, it was such an incredible weekend from Toprak, the treble. Just tell us how you're feeling, and full championship battle is back underway.
Yeah, we've got a lot of work to do. I mean, yeah, we took a lot of strength from what we've done this weekend. Michael was brilliant there to bring that home there in 5th. You know, he's struggling to find that good base again, but, you know, we thought we could come here. You know, we didn't think any winning is going to be easy. We respect all the opposition, but this is a track where we had a little bit more advantage, and we can clearly see we have none against the Ducatis. So it just means that over the course of the year, this championship is going to be like that every single race. And where we haven't got the balance set up, we can't do it, then we're going to be struggling. But yeah, we'll take this round. I think this one and Donington and maybe Monster is some kind of in our favour, if you get me. But yeah, delighted to win them all. Yeah, it just I think it clearly shows that it's going to be a really tough year for us.
Go and enjoy the celebrations. Congratulations.
Thank you, Matt. Cheers.
Toprak coming in then, as well as Bulaga and Bautista carrying the Spanish flag as well for Bautista. Let's cross back to TNT.
Championship at the moment are on another level, aren't they? Toprak Razgatlioglu, number 1, the 28-year-old from Alanya in Turkey, reigning world champion. And here, number 11, Nicolo Bulaga, the 25-year-old from Montalcino, Emilia in Italy. 2nd in the world last year. They were 3.5 seconds ahead of Alvaro Bautista across just 11 laps there after that restart. The reason the race was stopped and restarted, damage to the air fence down at turn 1 following a high-speed crash for Jason O'Halloran's Yamaha. Thankfully, Jace is okay. And we're hearing now that the number 21 of Zakwan Zaidi stopped with a problem out on track just after the end of the race. That's the MAA Honda, Tasmac's teammates. Here comes Bulaga. Through victory lane, but no victory this time, but he knows he couldn't have lost a race any better than that.
There's Alvaro Bautista, third for him. The problem for Alvaro is that he's had 2 big fat zeros so far this season. Remember a crash in Australia when he crashed trying to recover from the lap 1 moment. High-sided coming out of Siberia corner in the Superpole race, and then that collision with Scott Redding here in race 1 yesterday. And that's why Bautista is actually behind Petrucci at the moment. Petrucci's third and 51 points behind Buliga. And it looks as though Zakwan Zaidi's got a lift from Toprak Razgatlioglu. What a nice gesture. Zakwan, as I say, having just stopped with a technical problem with the MIE Honda. Is Zakwan Zaidi going to come all the way through into Parc Ferme? I would never have suggested, with respect to the team, that we were going to see an MIE Honda rider in Parc Ferme this afternoon, unless he drops him off somewhere on the way down. Maybe he'll get off in the pit lane. Lovely gesture, though, and we wish Zakwan all the best, because it was a very, very difficult start. Had visa problems, had to send his passport off, we believe. I don't know if he could have got a temporary passport, but he had to send his passport off for the visa to go to Australia, and then couldn't get to Europe to do the pre-season testing. Listen to the round of applause from the crowd. That's sportsmanship for you, as Toprak transports Zaidi back in. Thank you very much, says Zakwan. No problem, my friend, says Toprak, and he leaves the bike up against the barriers, and he's going to take time to salute the Portimao crowd. They adore him, he adores them. A 60th career victory then for Toprak Razgatlioglu. And a great birthday weekend for his team principal, Sean Muir, who turned 57 here yesterday. 3 wins. Say goodbye to the tyre.
Toprak Razgatlioglu wins race 2.
Oh my days, indeed.
He said he wanted to win 3 races, and since 2022, he has been the rider.
The riders always remember the races they had to fight hardest for. This was definitely one of them. I wonder whether Toprak would put that in his top 3 or top 5 of wins. Might be interesting to hear that when JT speaks with him in just a moment. Toprak wins then from Buliga and Bautista. Locatelli 4th from Van der Mark, so 2 BMWs in the top 5. Petrucci top independent again to lead the Independence Championship. And James Towsend, I do believe, has got Alvaro Bautista. So from one 2-time World Superbike champion, James, to another.
I certainly do, Greg. Thank you very much. The 2 teammates here, Alvaro Bautista and Nicola Buliga, just having a bit of a debrief here. A much better performance in that second start compared to the first start.
Yeah, especially because, you know, with less fuel, for me it's a bit easier, no? Yeah, it's strange because in the front I didn't feel so good in the first race. Then in the second one a bit better, but not enough. No? I think. Yeah, it's normal, no? It's what I said to you this morning, no? With SC2, maybe when the grip is a bit lower, we have to work to make the tire work, no? But, you know, it's the second race that I use this tire. I think I have many advantages, but we have to work to improve in the problem we had, no? In any case, I think we performance well in race 2 as well, no? But, you know, the pace today was very, 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 very fast, and I tried to do my best, but yeah, that's all. So I'm happy with the performance, and we are closing the gap with the front.
Solid weekend, Alvaro. I'll see you in Assen.
Okay, see you there. Thanks.
Yeah, great. And there's one Ducati rider to the next, Nicola Buliga. Everybody in TNT Bikes Sport, we just want to thank you and Toprak for an amazing weekend of racing. I know it's not the result that you wanted in first, but what a weekend it's been.
Yeah, honestly, my pockets are empty now. I played all my cards and was a bit difficult because I was more on the limit compared to Toprak. But honestly, like I said yesterday and this morning, I'm happy to fighting with Toprak in this track because normally him is unbeatable here in Portimao. He shows also this weekend. So for me to make Toprak's victory difficult here in Portimao is something interesting because we have to understand that we are maybe stronger than last year, and if we can fight for the victory in Portimao with Toprak, we can fight, I think, and I hope, everywhere.
Those last 3 laps that Toprak did in front of you, he didn't make one mistake, did he? Because with 4 laps to go, it looked like you had a chance of victory, but those last 3 were absolute perfection.
Yeah, if you want to win, you have to do like this. Honestly, I tried, but I was more on the limit with my bike, especially in some small and slow corners. Toprak in slow corners is very, very strong. Here in Portimao, there are some, so it's a bit difficult for me, for my riding style, but I repeat, I'm happy because fighting with Toprak in his favorite track it means that we are very strong.
You put a great show on for us this weekend. Go ahead. Well, congratulations, Nicola.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, fantastic riding, wasn't it? And we just wait for also Danilo Petrucci, who finished 6th, top independent rider. Danilo Petrucci still 3rd in this World Superbike campaign as well. So I don't know, Danilo's gone. He must be just around the back getting some water because it is hot out here. But we're just waiting for the victor, the treble. Toprak Razgatlioglu. He's just finishing off his interview here, and here he comes. The treble, Toprak Razgatlioglu, absolutely faultless. Those last 3 laps were absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I'm just waiting last 2-3 laps because I see the Nicola start sliding, and I need to just keep my pace. I see also 39 again. I understand also when I'm turning the slow corners, I'm not hear his bike sound. And I understand, I am, the pushing hard, and I understand also the gap getting bigger. And this is my plan, only 11 laps, normally also, if not the red flag, I'm also to see Nicola start to drop. Also, I have a plan that's similar like this. But anyway, we did 3 wins, the pole position, and the fastest lap. I did almost everything. For me, it's an incredible weekend, and also thanks to my team because everyone worked hard. Every session we are improved the bike. Finally today, we are improved also a little bit more grip. And this year is a little bit difficult. For me, it's not easy to riding the bike because I'm really fighting on the bike. And but I never give up. I'm always pushing the limit. And finally, we get the P1 again. I'm really happy.
You do realise that you're 1 second faster this year than last year, though. So is it the bike that's not really working well, or are you asking a bit too much of it?
Yeah, bike is not working well, not like last year, but also Nicola fast. I need to riding more fast than him. I'm just pushing for this. And like this, okay, we did an incredible job this weekend, and also the lap time is much better than last year, but also the tire is different. But still my bike not turning, especially the last 2 corners. I'm really fighting on the bike. But anyway, I'm not thinking on in the race this. I'm just riding the more than 100% because I have this bike. I need to ride this weekend. I need to fighting with this bike and also need to win. I'm just thinking this, and we did. This is really important for me. I'm always a fighter. And also we show again to everyone, and just I'm waiting the Aston race because also I like it there. Okay, maybe Nicola is improve again there, but I'm fighting again for the win there.
Well, on behalf of everybody that's watching at home on TNT Sports, thank you for a fabulous show this weekend, Toprak.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for all guys.
Thank you, Toprak. Back to you, Rachel.
Thanks so much, JT. And what a fabulous 3 races we were treated to this weekend in the Superbike class. All three of them were as close as you like, battles all the way to the line, but Toprak Razgatlioglu, well, he managed to finish on the top step of the podium in all three this weekend. I'm not sure Chaz Davies alongside me will be too thrilled about that, considering he's a rider coach for Aruba Ducati. Chaz, though, massive improvement all weekend compared to last year for Nicolo Bulaga, and he even said it, didn't he? He said, the fact that I was that close to Toprak here on the BMW track bodes well for the rest of the season.
It really does. I mean, well, first and foremost, I mean, we're all Toprak fans. I mean, I might have the red shirt on, but, you know, hats off to him all the time. He's just incredible. But we came from very far behind in the test a few weeks ago. I thought, I mean, we could have just signed over the trophy to Toprak at that point. So to come here and race him that hard in all three races, I wouldn't have expected that. Nicolo's done a fantastic job. The guys did a fantastic job to give him the bike that he wanted. We made huge gains from Friday morning. Pirelli brought that new tyre, as you know, which really helped sort of close things up, as Toprak had that at the test, and we didn't. So we were playing catch up a little bit. But yeah, what a fantastic weekend. Very, very happy with that. I mean, Nicolo, he's a racer, he wants to win. He's disappointed to lose 3 races, but deep down he should be very proud of himself, because we all are, and it does bode very well for the rest of the season.
Yeah, we saw, I guess, or heard how wily Toprak is as well. He said, well, I was watching, wasn't I? And I knew the last 2 or 3 laps, Nicolo started sliding around. I knew I had him. Did you even know there that Nicolo didn't quite have enough to win that third one?
No, honestly, you've got to believe. Yeah. And we had a plan, last corner, last lap, but it was just a little bit too much. Nicolo just got sucked into turn 1, and it lost him 3/10 there and then. And he did play catch up a little bit, but it just wasn't within striking distance. And credit to Toprak and the BMW team as well, because they've improved so much in those last 2 corners. I know Toprak's complaining about it, but they've really upped their game there, because Nicolo had a clear advantage there last year. They've really upped the game, and it's just very difficult to get close enough to be able to have a sniff at beating Toprak over the line. But regardless, I think we should be very happy. We should look forward as well to the next series of races. You know, there's going to be tracks that work in our favour and in Toprak's favour, but all in all, I think we're in a good place, and I really enjoyed the weekend. I think it was, you know, fantastic racing for being involved, but also for the fans.
Yeah, obviously we go to Assen in 2 weeks' time, and obviously it was a bit of an anomaly for everybody last year, considering the weather. But in Assen, how well do you think both of your riders will go?
Honestly, that's one of Nicolo's strongest tracks. It's a flowy track. It should suit the bike well, but Toprak's such a chameleon. He just adapts to everywhere. He might be very good in tight corners, but he can go with the best in the fast corners as well. So he's quite frustrating in that way. He's a tough cookie to crack. It's very difficult to find an edge on him. So he's going to be there. But on paper, I think that it's going to be a very strong one for Nicolo, and Alvaro as well has had great success there in the past. And today, I mean, he showed again that he might be 41 years old, but he's still got it. And, you know, he's there to pick up the pieces when he feels comfortable.
Pretend it's just you and me for the second and no one else watching. What do you think Nicolo's genuine reaction will be after this weekend?
I can just tell by his body language there. He was annoyed after the Super Bowl race. You know, there's that desire inside him. He's got ice in the veins, but like fire in his heart. He's really got a lot of burning desire this year. I can see it in him, and he was frustrated, but I can just see a little different tone there. He's happy. He looks to be happy with the weekend. He knows where we came from a few weeks ago in the test. And we've come such a long way, and as he said himself, this is a Toprak track on paper. So really, to be there, to be in the fight for all of it, it just bodes well for us for the rest of the season. And as well, I think that we've got a little bit of work to do on the performance side of the motorcycle. There's some areas where we're really looking to try and improve, to go toe-to-toe with Toprak in his strongest points, and that's what we need to focus on, really. So it's get our heads down and see if we can come out swinging for the next one.
Well, can't wait to see what you can do in 2 weeks' time in Assen. Well done to you and the entire team this weekend, Chaz. Thank you very much. Well, let's go over to that final podium then for this weekend's Superbike class with Greg Haynes.
Thanks, Rach. Thanks to Chaz as well. And, of course, you can't undervalue Chaz's work as well. You certainly can't underestimate the hours he puts in terms of going out there as a rider coach, videoing everything, analysing everything. Got this special software, ghosting software, where he can compare the lines of his riders with all of the other riders to see where they can gain time. And that's paying off big style as well, isn't it? So well done to Chaz on that. Multiple winner himself, of course. The World Superbike Championship. We saw Chaz finishing second, third in this championship, and wins on many an occasion.
32 times Chaz won in World Superbikes. He's still up in the top 10. Alvaro Bautista second in the win records, but closing in fast now is Toprak. Alvaro 63 times a winner. Toprak now 60 times a winner thanks to his results here today. Nicolo Bulega. What a start to the season the young Italian is enjoying. Still only 25 years of age. He's the only rider on the grid, Bulega, who's finished on the podium in all 3 races at both of the rounds so far. I'll come to you in a second, says George Villegas, the FIM president. And now hands the gold trophy to Toprak.
We now welcome onto the podium a representative.
See, Chaz Davis has made his way to join the team. Toprak gets rid of the flowers, very sharpish indeed, as he always does. Good catch, whoever that was. Chris Gonshaw, the technical director of BMW Motorrad Motorsport.
And once again, please,
he's been with the company for 30 years now, joined in 2004. And was instrumental in developing the S1000RR road-going BMW. Of course, it's the M1000RR these days. There's Phil Maron, crew chief, in the middle of the screen.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, please, your respect for the national anthem of the winning rider, the national anthem of Turkey. For the second time in Superbike, it is time for Prosecco Dog on the podium.
Last year, Toprak established a record of 13 successive wins. And this here today, the 7th time he's won all 3 races on a single weekend. Alvaro Bautista's had 10 hat-tricks. He has the record. But Toprak is closing in. David Clares there, one of the Dorna photographers, did very well actually to keep out of the Prosecco shower. And Alvaro Bautista, he's a little troublemaker, isn't he? That's his fan club there with the red and yellow T-shirts in the front row. Make sure they enjoy a few drops of the Prosecco as well. I'm sure they've got plenty more Alvaro can enjoy, if he so wishes, back in the Aruba Ducati hospitality unit. He's got work to do, hasn't he? And as I said before, the fact he's failed to finish and score in 2 races so far, that's been the biggest problem. It leaves him quite a chunk of points behind, as you'll see in a second. But the European season is now very much underway, and we now venture across from Portimao here in Portugal to round 3 of 12 in 2025. It's the Cathedral of Speed itself, up in the north of the Netherlands, and we suspect very different weather conditions to what we've got here in Portugal today. I hope it's like we're seeing on these promotional pictures here as we get to the legendary Cathedral of Speed. Always great racing. Remember what happened there last year? Pit stops and a red flag, and the Barney Spark team took their first ever victory with substitute rider Nico Spinelli. There it is, Assen in all its glory then in 2 weeks' time.
Yeah, they just like to make my life harder with 13 different series on in 2 weeks' time. We'll do our best to bring you Superbike action throughout the weekend. It might be one of the ones where I step away from the commentary box and others take part as well. Top rank wins then for Bulega and Bautista, Locatelli ahead of Vandermark, Petrucci as well. And this is how the championship looks with Nicolo Bulega on 111 points, Top rank closing him in on 82, Daniele Petrucci on 60, Bautista 59 from Locatelli on 56, and Iannone drops to 44 in 6th place. Redding not scoring, Sam Lowe's in 8th, Massini 9th, Vandermark in 10th as well. Manufacturers, well, that shows us with Ducati on 111, BMW on 84, Yamaha 56, Motor on 35, Honda on 31, Kawasaki on 11. that wraps it up then here for us from the World Superbikes for the Portuguese round of the championship. Next up, we've got MotoGP and the warm-up for the Americas Grand Prix, and then Moto3, Moto2 and Moto Grand Prix as well. There we see Michael Hill talking in the Paddock Show. We'll catch up with him at Donington Park. Thanks for your company this weekend. We'll see you soon at the Netherlands. Take care. Bye-bye.